Hi guys, today I'm here to do my top 10 of 2016. These are my favorite books of the year, and these are actually books I just read this year. That doesn't necessarily mean that they came out this year, although I think that like 3 of them came out this year, or 4, and the rest of them just have been out for a year or 2 or more. Also, they're not really in order exactly, they're just kind of in a list of 10. First, I'm kind of cheating and I included a trilogy or 2, but it's my list, I can decide. And so I actually chose the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. I actually just recently finished this trilogy and it was so good. If you love fantasy, check out this trilogy. I had the ugly American copies, and just because it's so hard to like find the beautiful UK editions, but this is the beautiful editions that I will someday own. Highly recommend them. I love the way that his magic system is so unique with metals and everything, and it's not hard to read, it's not hard to get into. It does flip between like different characters for the different chapters, but pretty quickly in you will get hooked. It did take a few like chapters for actually all 3 books, I'm pretty sure, before I really got hooked and just flew through them. And they were just 5 out of 5 stars. So good. The next 2 books should not shock you at all. The first one is Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. I have a whole long video discussion on this. It's like, I think 20 minutes long or something. It's pretty long, and so I will link that in the description for you guys. And I go into like all the things that I love about this book. I just love this series. I love this world. I love this author. Oh, so good. A lot of people did have some problems with this book, and I thought it was so fantastic. I'm so excited for the next one, and I just am like counting down the days. If you are a fan of fantasy, this one is young adult fantasy. Sometimes it's YA fantasy is pretty terrible, but in my opinion, this series is amazing. And the next one is A Court of Mist and Fury. It was better than the first. I thought I kind of maybe knew where it was going, and I was right. I just loved it. I loved the Night Court. I loved all the new characters and the romance, and good. I do want to reread this again soon. I don't remember when the next one's coming out, maybe May or something, I don't know. Vicious by V.E. Schwab was a favorite this year. This was a standalone. And it's the villains, like the 2 main people, I love the way she wrote this book. That was a big part of the reason why I love that they would flash back and forth between when these 2 guys were best friends and then now to present day when they both kind of have like superpowers and they're both trying to kill one another. And it's so fantastic how you want to know like what possibly could have happened to have made you turn against each other. And so you just get little bits and pieces throughout the book of why I want to read a whole series on this. I think someone said that she is going to write a second, and I am so ready for it. Next, we have the Winners trilogy, and this trilogy was, I think the 3rd one was my favorite. I loved that it doesn't just focus on someone that's like really good at weapons. I love that it's more like on strategy and just being like intelligent and smarter than your opponent. The book is so much about timing though. I think this author tried to kill me, and people keep like missing one another in the story, and they come so close to each other and it just like kills you. The romance like was fantastic. It also just like about killed me though. But I highly recommend this trilogy. I loved the main character and how witty, like how smart she was, and she was just really fun to read about. Another favorite of the year actually came out this year, and that was Lady Midnight. This is her like new series, and I'm so excited to read more about these characters. The romance was so good, and I loved reading about this institute and this location with these characters. It was so cool because we've read about these characters before, but now they're, grown up, and I love the main girl, Emma. And just, if you love the Mortal Instruments series, if you love the Infernal Devices trilogy, pick up Lady Midnight because it did not disappoint. I'm a big fan of Cassandra Clare and her series and stuff, and I just adore. This book was a chomp too. It was huge, but it was amazing. Next, I have Heartless, and this author is one of my favorite authors. I got this book early, actually, and it's like a Alice in Wonderland retelling, and I've never really read anything about that. Like, I've never really read a retelling, and it was so good. Once again, kind of like Vicious, where like the whole time you're just trying to figure out, like, how did these two become like how did this happen? How did they get from point A to B? And that's how Heartless was, because I knew how she ended up. I knew that it was written about the evil, like, Queen of Hearts, but I just couldn't see how this main nice girl could turn it into that. And the romance, everything was so perfect, and it was so fun to read about. It was so fun to read about the story in Wonderland, and I adored it. I definitely recommend it. If you have, like, if you're a fan of Alice in Wonderland or any of Marissa Meyer's other retellings, because she's awesome. She's awesome at writing villains. So fun to read about. And the rest are all contemporary. So I included Me Before You. This book killed me. I cried so much. I'd seen it around, and then I finally picked it up, and I wanted to read it before I saw the movie. The movie also killed me. I cried so much. It's so good, though, to read just a good book every now and then that makes you cry, and it was just fantastic. I loved the messages that were in it. I loved that it really encourages you to kind of go out and, like, live your best life and to not settle. Just the friendship in it and then the romance in it was fantastic. So good. I do want to pick up the second one. I just kind of had to give myself some time before I was ready to read the second one, I think. But I think I will soon. Then I have More Happy Than Not. I think I read this within 24 hours. I got it, like, as an ebook really cheap one day. And wow, it was not what I was expecting. It was so good. It surprised me. It was so raw and real, and it just tore out my heart. And, like, oh God, I like such memorable characters. It has to do with, like, sort of standing out, like fitting in and, like, being different than other people, and it has to do with, like, LGBTQ. Just know, I also cried in this one. Oh boy. It got to me. It did. I definitely want to read more by this author, for sure. And last but not least is Aristotle and Dante Discovered the Secrets of the Universe. Also a contemporary. Also deals with sort of like a coming of age. Also LGBTQ. And also has, like, super memorable characters in it. This one's been out for a few years, so a lot of you probably read it. But I loved Ari and Dante. They're just so fun to read about. And I also just sobbed in this book. I got so mad in this book. And it was so good, though. I loved the parents in this book. I loved that they were there. So many books I read, the parents are just, like, cut out for different reasons, and it's just about these, like, random teenagers. And I love that the parents were in this. I loved when it was set. I loved just literally everything about this book. I'm gonna have every single one of these books linked in the description with their Goodreads pages if you want to read more about them, if you want to add them to your TBR, that kind of thing. If I've done any sort of book review, like I know I did a video discussion over Aristotle and Dante, for example, I will include all of that in the description. And then I want you guys to tell me your top favorites of the year. It doesn't have to be a top 10 if you don't want, but at least tell me, like, your top 3 or something in the comments, which is actually harder, so that's up to you. If you did your own video, you can leave that in the comment section, and I will go through all those. And I just love to hear people's favorites, and it doesn't have to be written in this year like I did. I mean, it can just be like a random list. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for this awesome year. I appreciate you guys watching my videos, for being around this long. January 3rd is actually my 4-year booktube anniversary, if you can believe it. And I'm actually 38 weeks pregnant, so my little baby's gonna be here any day. So if you just don't see me for a couple weeks, that's what has happened. But I have been posting on my second channel, not only the pregnancy updates, but I've been doing vlogs on my second channel. I've posted a few of them. Lately, I vlogged Christmas and that kind of stuff, so I can link them in the description as well. But if you're into vlogs, then check those out for sure. I really have just been trying to document more kind of just me and Jake's life lately, because I know everything's going to change soon. And once Emma is here, I know that everything's gonna change and I really wanna document that. So I'm actually gonna be getting a new vlogging camera soon. I'm really excited about. I think I'm settled on the Canon G7X Mark II, I think is what I'm gonna get, and I'm really excited about it. So off topic. Anyways, I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching, and definitely leave your favorites in the comments. Bye guys.